I was driving to work and I was thinking about all the things that God's been doing lately. So the very first time I was ever invited to a Jeep event to be a vendor, it was in Texas. And when I drove up, it was at Texas Motor Speedway. I drove up and I see everybody there. I see all these big names like Maxxis Tire or Nitto Tires, or, Four Wheel Parts, all the big names. And I drove up and I was just like in fear. I'm like, I am not the one to do this. I literally had 5 t-shirts, 5 caps, about 10 Bibles, and me. I had nothing. But I drove up there and I had what I had. And so I set up as a vendor. And then I shared the love of Christ with people all weekend. And then I was thinking about this past weekend when we were at Jeep Beach. And we had 6 people working our booth. I had me, my son, my daughter, me, my son, my wife, and just thinking of, and 3 volunteers, thinking about how far God has brought this ministry, and more than that, my trust and my faith in Him and His abilities. I quote it a lot, but there's a scripture that says, he who can be trusted with a little can be trusted with a lot. But he who cannot be trusted with a little cannot be trusted with a lot. And so basically what that's meaning is, if you can't serve in the small capacities, in the little things, when you just have one little box of stuff, then don't expect, if that's too small for you and you think you're beyond that, then don't think He's going to trust you with more, because you ain't even showed Him that you can be trusted with a little. But when you show Him that you're going to be faithful no matter what, whether there's 1 person or 1,000,000, He just continually increases your territory. And we got to minister to hundreds. But it was God. It was God who did it. I just happened to be the mouthpiece. And my wife likes to remind me, sometimes I forget this ain't about me. And she says, before you start thinking you're too special, remember that God used a donkey to talk to Balaam. A donkey. You ain't all that special. And then there's other times where I feel like I'm so unqualified to do anything. And then my wife says, if God can use a donkey, surely He can use you. So, just wanted to remind you, be faithful where you're at. It may seem like you're doing insignificant tasks, mundane stuff, but you be faithful to God. You glorify God in the little things and watch Him do. You do what you can and then watch Him do what you can't. That's what He's been proving to me. You be faithful and I will blow your stinking mind. He's been blowing my mind like crazy. Oh, He's a good, good God.